Prabhu, what are you able to see from my side?
I'm saying Pragabhas, yeah, 169.
Okay, you can see that, right? Okay. Okay, Prabhu, I'll start with my prayers. Okay. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvi Stamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Satarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'll recite Srimad Bhagavatam prayers. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Susushruha Shatadanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Shyan Mahatsevaya Vipraha Punyatirtha Niveshayat Shrimatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridyantosto Bhadrani Vidunoti Shruhutsatam Nashtaprayeshva Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamastoki Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtiki Tada Rajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobhadayascha ye Cheta eter anavidham Stitam Sattve Prasnitati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavat Tattva Vikyanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridaya Grantyas Chityante Sarva Samshayaha Kshiyante Chasya Karmani Drishta Eva Manishwari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, Chapter number 9, verse number 9, Chapter 16, sorry. Mandasya Mandapragnasya Vayomandayusascha Nidraya Hriyate Nittam Divacha Vyartha Karma Bihi Mandasya Mandapragnasya Vayomandayusascha Nidraya Hriyate Nittam Divacha Vyartha Karma Bihi. Synonyms: Mandasya, of the lazy. Manda, paltry. Pragnasya, of intelligence. Vayaha, age. Manda, short. Ayushaha, of duration of life, cha, and vai, exactly. Nidraya, by sleeping. Riyate, passes away. Naktam, night. Diva, daytime. Cha, also. Vyartha, for nothing. Karmabhihi, by activities. Translation: lazy human beings with paltry intelligence and a short duration of life pass the night sleeping and the day performing activities that are for naught. Purport: by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The less intelligent do not know the real value of the human form of life. The human form is a special gift of material nature in the course of her enforcing stringent laws of miseries upon the living being. It is a chance to achieve the highest boon of life, namely, to get out of material, or rather, get out of entanglement of repeated birth and death. The intelligent take care of this important gift by strenuously endeavoring to get out of the entanglement. But the less intelligent are lazy and unable to evaluate the gift of the human body to achieve liberation from the material bondage. They become more interested in so-called economic development and work very hard throughout life simply for the sense enjoyment of the temporary body. Sense enjoyment is also allowed to the lower animals by the law of nature, and thus a human being is also destined to a certain amount of sense enjoyment according to his past or present life. But one should definitely try to understand that sense enjoyment is not the ultimate goal of human life. Herein, it is said that during the daytime, one works for nothing, because the aim is nothing but sense enjoyment. We can particularly observe how the human being is engaged for nothing in the great cities and industrial towns. There are so many things manufactured by human energy, but they are all meant for sense enjoyment and not for getting out of material bondage. And after working hard during the daytime, a tired man either sleeps or engages in sex habits at night. That is the program of materialistic civilized life for the less intelligent. Therefore, they are designated herein as lazy, unfortunate, and short lived. I'm seeking blessings of all gathered Vaishnavas here so I can speak something meaningful for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna and for all the devotees here. So we are continuing chapter where there is information given that Kali Yuga personified began its activities, and we are trapped within this Kali Yuga because we desire to do that. And Kali Yuga, as we know, is the dark age, and it's like dark ocean in which there are everyone performing sinful activities. We are surrounded by this ocean, but we are under the care of our great acharyas who are compared to sharks in the great ocean of nectar that they always remain in the ocean of transcendental loving service to the Lord. So we have to follow our great acharyas. We have to practice following them and not pretend like them. So Srila Prabhupada tells here in the first in translation that lazy human beings with paltry intelligence. So we understood in Canto 1, Chapter 1, verse number 10, we learned about the characteristics of the living entities in Kali Yuga. It says, Prayinalpashu saha sabhya kalav asmin yuge janaha mandaha sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi uparta. So it says, O learned one, In the Iron Age, in this Iron Age of Kali, men almost always have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. So, um, so as a devotee, so the characteristics they are it's defined as quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and disturbed. So we as a devotees, when we think about all these, um, and we hear all these, if we think about, are we unlucky? And we are like, are we feeling unlucky? We are not feeling unlucky now, since now that we have Krishna in our lives, right? And we constantly try to put him in the center. We are not misguided, are we? No. We have Guru, we have devotees, we have um, Srimad Bhagavatam with us. Neither are we quarrelsome, but we can, or I can speak for myself, of being lazy, which makes me disturbed. And if I'll be continuing in that lazy state for a long period of time, yes, I will be, or will definitely be, one of the unfortunates. So the question is, why am I lazy, or what am I lazy for? So so the laziness, as we see described in Bhagavad Gita, laziness is born out of mode of ignorance. So the definition I was just reading just to understand. So the definition of lazy person here, it says a person is lazy, being lazy, if he is able to carry out some activities that he ought to carry out, but is disinclined to do so because of the effort involved. So he or she is more interested in engaging him or herself in something other, less strenuous or less boring activities, or remain idle. So again, the question, why am I lazy, or for what am I lazy for? So um, upon meditating, my thoughts were going towards, I'm lazy for not constantly or completely be in touch with Krishna and serve him in transcendence. There is a blind spot, or maybe a comfort zone wherein that core nature has become so second nature to me, that I'm not coming out of that thought process to understand this is not for me, and we have to constantly and completely be in touch with Krishna constantly. So chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, there is very nice description there. It says there are two types of person, two types of nature. One is divine and the other one is demonic. And in this age of Kali Yuga, this both types of nature is within us. And so we have the divine nature and the demonic nature within us. So we are sometimes lazy, sometimes we are enthusiastic to do some services, or so and so on. And so we have to feed the higher nature. So Srila Prabhupada says here, it is chance, it is, so human life, human form of life is a chance to achieve the highest boon of life. So human life is meant for to taste topmost nectar, and that is Srimad Bhagavatam. And human life is meant, so we have short life. Average lifespan nowadays, it's 70s, max 80s, 80 years, right? Which used to be 100 before. And we cannot at all read all the Vedas, Upanishads, etc. With the time we have in hand. So the remedy is also given to us, that just keep hearing Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. By regular exposing ourselves to the sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can attain perfection, and then we will develop this higher taste. Then we will not go into the different species to taste, horrible things. And so I'll like to read something from Queen Kunti's prayer. I'll read from here. So it says the most essential, I'll read few paragraphs from Teachings of Queen Kunti, and the chapter is Cutting Off Ties of Affection. So it says the most essential education is that which enables one to become free from the bodily concept of life. But unfortunately, scientists, philosophers, politicians, and others, so called leaders, are misleading people so that they become more attached to the body. In the human life that offers the opportunity to become Krishna conscious, but these rascals are stopping that opportunity by alluring people to bodily designations, and therefore they are the greatest enemy of human civilization. One attains a human body after evolving through 8,484,000 millions, life forms, from aquatics to plants, and then to trees, insects, birds, beasts, and so on. Now, people do not know what is the next step in evolution. But there is explained, no, so but that is explained in Bhagavad Gita 9.25, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. As the next step is evolution, one may, if one desires, go to the higher planetary system. Although every night people see so many planets and stars, they do not know what these higher planetary systems are. But from the Shastras, the Vedic literature, we can understand that understand that on this higher planetary systems, material comforts are available. There are many times that are many times greater than those of this planets. Yeah, this planet. On this planet, we may live for at most 100 years. But on the higher planetary systems, one can live for a lifetime we cannot even calculate. For example, the lifetime of Brahma, who lives on the highest planet, is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Sorry, something is popping up in my laptop. In Bhagavad Gita 8.17, that we cannot calculate even 12 hours of Brahma with our mathematical figures, but even Brahma has to die. Even though one may have a long duration of life, no one can live permanently in this material world. Nonetheless, if one prepares oneself, one may go to the higher planetary systems. Or similarly, one may go to the Pitralokas. There, one may meet one's forefathers if they have been eligible to go there. Similarly, if one desires, one may also remain here on earth, or if one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one can go to him. One may go to hell, one may go to heaven, or one may go back home, back to Godhead, as one likes. Therefore, an intelligent person should think, if I have to prepare for my next life, why not prepare to go back home, back to Godhead? One's present body will be finished, and then one will have to accept another body. What kind of body one will accept is stated in Bhagavad Gita 14.18. It says, those who are in the mode of goodness, avoiding the four principles of sinful life, will live their next life on a higher planetary system. Even if one does not become a pure devotee of the Lord, if one follows the regulative principles for avoiding sinful life, one will remain in goodness and get this opportunity. Human life is meant for this purpose. But if we waste our life just living like cats and dogs and eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then we shall lose this opportunity. Then further Srila Prabhupada states that rascals, however, do not know this. They do not believe that there is the next life. In Russia, a Professor Kotovsky, told me, Swamiji, after this body is finished, everything is finished. He's a big professor, yet still he said that. Such men may pose as scientists and philosophers, but actually they have no knowledge and they simply mislead others. This is our greatest source of grief, and therefore I have requested the members of Krishna Consciousness Movement to challenge and defeat these rascals who are misleading the entire human society. people should not think that the devotees of Krishna are mere sentimentalists. On the contrary, the devotees are the greatest philosophers and the greatest scientists. So Krishna, Srila Prabhupada further states that Krishna has two engagements: Paritranaya sadhunam vinashchaya vinasaya cha duskrutam. Giving protection to the sadhus, the devotees, and killing the demons. Krishna gave protection to Pandavas and Vrishnis because they were devotees. And he also killed demons like Kamsa, Aghasura, and Bakasura. So of the two engagements, his killing of the demons was his major occupation. He will examine, if we examine how much time he devoted to killing and how much time he devoted to protecting, we shall find that he devoted more time to killing. Similarly, those who are Krishna conscious should also kill not by weapons but by logical reasoning and by education. So we were talking about the demoniac nature we have within us, speaking about laziness. So can't we kill the demon of laziness within us, which could potentially be the cause of all those characteristics of unlucky, unfortunate, misguided, or disturbed, that is also keeping us from Krishna. And so what are the standards of devotional service that will bring one completely in touch with Krishna? We are going in and out, and so how we can constantly and completely be in touch with Krishna and serving and serve him in transcendence. So we have heard in our workplace, like, goal settings, and so I was in yesterday's so in 11.55 Bhagavad Gita 11.55, Mat Paramo is making Krishna supreme goal of life. It should be the job of a devotee. And so, dear devotees, let us all pray for each other that we remain under the shelter of our Acharyas, Guru and Krishna, and try to be more and more conscious about our dealings and practice situating in pure devotion service. So this is what I have prepared today, devotees. I think I'm finishing a little early, but yeah, I got a little less time to prepare for this class, so please forgive me. But if anybody has any realizations or any discussion, feedback, or anything to add on top of this, feel free to chime in.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru and Gauranga.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu. All glories to Guru Gauranga.
Mataji, really wonderful talk. You touched on so many points. Particularly, we are under the shelter of, the acharyas in the ocean. They are like the sharks, and we are all being safeguarded if we take their shelter. It was so nice. And, the other thing I could not miss was this verse, and the purport of this verse is so similar to 7:15, where Krishna describes the four dushkruta, like the four types of miscreant people, and so, if you want to, it will be nice if you can comment on that verse also. Thank you, Mata.
Sure, Prabhu, thank you. Yeah, there are four kind of miscreants that do not go to Krishna, and those are Mudas, Naradamas, Maya, Apahrita, Jnanas. So I will open that, and there is one more that I'm missing.
Asuras, Mata.
Asuras, and these are the four kind of people that do not go to Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you for refreshing my memory. It will help me in the exam, Bhakti Shastri exam. Anybody else? Anybody would like to add something on top of what I spoke? So, it's okay. Yeah, so if we have time, so I was just thinking like I'll share with you, although the news has been spread that we are short of volunteers, and if you all can please sign up for the Janmashtami volunteer list, that will be very helpful, Prabhus and Matajis, for this Janmashtami. So, Lingaraju Prabhu,
Yeah.
I think we can wrap the call, Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Kalpataru Kripa Sindhubhe eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam Bhagavad Gita ki Jai.